Hey everybody, as you all already know, the nominees are out for the Game Awards, which is dropping in just a few short weeks. I'm not surprised by the biggest games, and I'm not surprised by what got nominated for Best Indie Game. There were 3 that I already predicted, but I wanted to talk about all 5 of those games and what they would bring to the table. I'm going to talk about them in order of most relevance and importance to me, and if you've been subscribed to me for a while, you can easily figure out which one I want to win. But with that being said, let's get into it. First one I'm going to talk about is Viewfinder, developed by Sad Owl Studios and published by Thunderful Publishing. The description of Viewfinder says, challenge perception, redefine reality, and reshape the world around you with an instant camera. Viewfinder is a new single-player game offering gamers hours of interesting and fun experiences while uncovering the mysteries left behind. It is a first-person puzzle platformer with 3D movement and some surreal elements to it. I actually never got around to playing this one as it did not appeal to me personally, but I did hear a lot of good things about this game. It seems to have gotten a lot of attention as it was nominated for Best Debut Indie as well. Shout out to the devs for making a great looking and fun experience that got a lot of attention. Now, Dave the Diver is a pretty contentious pick. I assumed that this game was considered an indie given how much praise it was getting within the indie space, but as I discovered when doing a little research, it seems like that term indie is loose when describing this one. If you didn't know already, the developers Mint Rocket are a subdivision of Nexon, which is a very large and profitable South Korean publisher. One would assume the term indie refers to smaller teams or solo devs, so I think nominating Dave the Diver as an independent game doesn't really fit. But don't get me wrong, just because it doesn't fit the title of indie doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's really fun and I enjoy the nice pixelated art style. I was only able to play the demo on Switch, but I saw why this game was loved by a lot of people. I just hope it doesn't win an award because I think it would be a little bit disingenuous to the brand. I heard so much about Dredge since its initial release and I'm glad to see it on this list. We must all be into fishing mixed with eldritch horrors or other spooky things. Maybe it's some sort of fascination with the deep that drew people to this one. That and the fact that it is a fantastic game. And what you're seeing me play is a bit of the first chapter, and I'll put a link to that in the description so you can get kind of the full scope of what this game is about. It's kind of a fishing game where you're using a boat and you're upgrading your boat and you're getting a bunch of different fish to bring back to your town. It's very much almost like Dave the Diver a little bit, but a little bit different because a little bit more spooky than Dave the Diver, so to speak. But it is unfortunate that Dredge has to go up against Sea of Stars and Cocoon, because in any other year, I think this would have won, but perhaps it will win Best Debut Indie. We'll just have to see. Now, I loved Cocoon. I knew when I first saw this game, I thought it was going to be some sort of sleeper hit this year, so I'm glad to see it on this list and Best Debut Indie. If you want a more in-depth estimation of Cocoon, I do have a review on my channel that I will link in the description. But Cocoon is a unique take on the puzzle adventure genre where each world exists within an orb that you carry on your back. Wrap your head around the core mechanic of leaping between worlds and combine, manipulate, and rearrange them to solve intricate puzzles. I had a blast with Cocoon. It was for sure one of my favorite games this year. But again, unfortunately, it had to go up against my pick for Best Indie Game of the Year and my personal pick for Game of the Year just in general, which is Sea of Stars. How much more do I need to talk about how amazing Sea of Stars is? I will keep singing its praises until the day I die because Sea of Stars is one of the best games made this year. I urge you to check out both my spoiler-free and spoiler-filled videos to get the full depth of my love for this game. I really think Sea of Stars will win this category, and I hope it wins Best RPG, but I think that one's probably going to go to Baldur's Gate 3 because we all know how that will go. It's probably going to be some sort of Baldur's Gate 3 sweep. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully Sea of Stars wins. I do wish there was a spot for Sea of Stars in Game of the Year, as it absolutely deserves it. Sabotage Studio once again created another 10 out of 10 game. Go watch my videos on it, please, and you'll see why. I promise you, you will not be disappointed because I love Sea of Stars, and I think you will too after watching some of my videos or playing it yourself. But what did you think about this list? Were there some indies that you think got snubbed? What would you replace Dave the Diver with? Because Dave the Diver isn't really an indie, so I think you could easily swap that in for something else. But do you even care about the Game Awards? Do you think award shows in general are just kind of man, you don't really care about it, or it doesn't really have any consequence of you, or is it just some popularity contest, kind of like the Oscars or the Grammys or something like that? I would love to hear any and all comments down below, as I love reading what you all have to say and responding to them. And while you're down there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to see more indie game reviews, gameplay, commentary, and whatever else pops out of my head. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Chike, and I will see you next time. Bye.